Tonight on Canyons News, we see how one man's creativity carves a path of persistence and positivity. We'll also dive deep into the local sports world and find out about an organization that is helping SCV families out this week for Thanksgiving. Canyons News starts now.
With news from across the Santa Clarita Valley, this is Canyons News.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Canyons News. I'm Caden West, and here's the latest from the Canyons newsroom. A Newhall family is fighting to save the life of their toddler after they received a life-changing diagnosis. Austin Dave shines light on the race against time to defeat a deadly disease.
Flowers love to bloom.
A child's face can say a million things,
Balloons love to float.
but the curl of their lips tells all.
He's got the cutest smile. Everybody loves his smile.
A smile that lights up a room. A distraction from the details that might not meet the eye.
Damien's just a really optimistic, great attitude baby. We love him. He is the light of my life.
Parents often find joy in watching their child grow. But for Brittany and Brock Markham, they hold on to the little things. Those little abilities that might not be here tomorrow.
He was scooting around, he was standing up at the peak, I guess, of his development. He was able to pull himself up to a standing position, kind of move around furniture. He would copy sounds that he heard us say. Oh!
Damien quickly went from mimicking those he loves to a hospital stay.
He was never able to really scoot, move around anymore, pull himself up to standing, getting to the point where only within a few months he's unable to sit up by himself.
A genetics test revealed some distressing news.
We did the liver biopsy, and that led to eventually a genetics test that confirmed that he had a disease called Niemann-Pick.
The extremely rare disease is likened to baby Alzheimer's. Niemann-Pick is typically terminal.
It was scary. It's scary to hear that this disease will normally take an infant's life usually before they're 3.
The child loses many of their functions and skills.
Seeing him regress like that is heartbreaking, but also seeing how happy and how loving and smiley he is does help on the harder days.
Oh, good throw.
Damien goes to physical therapy often. Together with his mom, they work to keep the toddler's skills at the same level. Through therapy, they fight to stave off the effects of a deadly disease.
Trying to keep those muscles alive because most kids his age that have this disease are no longer eating. They're on a feeding tube, and eventually that's going to happen to Damien. But we're trying to delay that as much as we can.
Brittany and Brock spend as much time with Damien as possible, showering him with love and affection.
Happy Thanksgiving, Biscuit.
At home, they dive deep into fairy tales in a world of wonder.
Here, Biscuit, said the little girl.
They spend each Sunday night reading to Damien on Instagram Live.
More time that we get to spend together, the 3 of us as a family, but also share Damien's love for reading and just his happy and sweet attitude with as many people as we can.
But hope lives on the horizon. The Markhams are counting on a possible experimental treatment to help save Damien. The hope is the treatment could pause Damien's brain deterioration.
I think it's probably the worst thing that can happen to somebody is to have their child die, and to be told that that's likely going to happen if the treatment's not expedited. It's torture to watch this happen.
4 little monkeys jumping on.
For now, the love of 2 dedicated parents join the laughter of a loved little boy.
One fell off and
At the end of the day, Brittany and Brock want their son to know something important.
You are loved. And you can do anything.
Reporting in Newhall, I'm Austin Dave.
It can be hard to escape life's many difficulties. Instead of running away from them, a Castaic man is embracing hardships in his own personal journey to defy expectations. Lauren Hanna has the story.
It's in this room where Louis Diaz spends much of his time.
I try to live my life as a normal person would.
It's here where he strives to find that normalcy. Typically, he's with a team, but tonight he works alone. It's a dangerous task at times.
You can lose a finger on a table saw if you're being overconfident. If you think that this machine's just a stupid little machine and it can't do anything other than cut a piece of wood, you're going to get very overconfident, and that's when you're going to have an accident.
Couple those risks with the fact that Louis can't see a thing. It all began with seizures and hospital stays when he was a toddler.
And they found that I did have a brain tumor. It was on the front of my brain near the optic nerve.
The successful removal of the tumor left Louis blind at 2 years old. He grew up in a world different than those around him.
When they were learning how to write cursive and write print and stuff like that, I was working with a Braille teacher learning how to write Braille.
Despite that, losing his sight at such a young age left him with many advantages.
I have what's called echolocation. So when I'm walking around, I can hear my footsteps bouncing off of different objects. We're going to go over to the chop saw.
It's those unique abilities that allow Louis to navigate the challenging world he was born into.
I always try to live life to the fullest, because it's the only life we have, and you got to just make the best of it.
Oftentimes, making the best of it looks like this. Louis spends his days in his dad's shop where he makes an assortment of crafts. This sign is one of them.
Between each letter,
he uses stencil letters to guide his way. The most tedious part is keeping the letters properly spaced.
Did I just lose my space again? Found it. It's right in front of my blind eyes.
All in all, Louis wants to send a message that blindness can be seen as a strength and not a weakness.
I can do whatever it is I put my mind to.
For Canyons News, I'm Lauren Hanna.
A new report from the National Geographic said that more and more trash is being found in the ocean. A club from Canyon High School has taken matters into their own hands in the global fight for a pollutant-free ocean. Reporter Mark Monroy has the details.
As the beach waves wash onto the shores and the seagulls chirp, a generation takes aim at a global threat to marine wildlife.
Most of the trash ends up in the ocean when 70% of our planet is covered by water. Additionally, people are not very mindful about all the trash that they produce, and not enough people recycle, so we have to be more mindful of the trash that we generate.
As the National Geographic has stated that there are around 5 trillion pieces of trash in the ocean, and the Canyons High School Ecos Chicos Club is doing their part in a Santa Monica Pier beach cleanup.
It feels great. It's exciting that younger people care about the planet and want to make an impact.
It gives me hope that students they care about the planet, they want to make that change, they're dedicating their morning on Saturday mornings and other times to just be out here doing something good for the planet.
The club isn't just focused on doing their part, as they also try to spread awareness within their community by hosting awareness hikes and local cleanups.
Okay, ready? We have a different event each month where we do something in nature, get people to appreciate nature.
Oh my God, bro.
With the club spreading awareness within themselves, they have another idea in mind, and that is to...
We really just want people to appreciate nature for how it is and be willing to help it.
I feel like I'm doing something, and it's pushed me to make a lot of friendships, and I find myself reaching out more and educating myself.
The Canyon High School's Ecos Chicos Club, who is led by Mr. Dennis Young, has grown to roughly around 150 students and will likely continue to grow for the years to come. Reporting for Canyons News in Santa Monica, I'm Mark Monroy.
And now, let's take it to Ryan Rivera with an update on what's trending.
Thanks, Caden. An SUV driver plowed into a Christmas parade in suburban Milwaukee Sunday, killing at least 5 people and injuring 48. 18 of the injured were confirmed to be children. The suspect was previously leaving a scene of a domestic dispute that had taken place just minutes earlier. Waukesha's police chief said Monday the investigation is still underway. Gas prices have been rising in the previous weeks. The average has increased 14 of the past 15 days, rising 11 cents in that time to frame. According to figures from the AAA and Oil Price Information Service, it is 3 cents more than 1 week ago, 16 cents higher than 1 month ago, and $1.55 greater than 1 year ago. Santa Clarita is among one of the cities in Los Angeles County with the highest new COVID-19 infection rates, despite having high vaccination rates of over 75%. Within the past 14 days, the city has reported 289 positive cases, and over 7,800 tests have been administered. And that's what's trending. I'm Ryan Rivera. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at canyonsnews.com. Now back to you, Caden, in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming up next on Canyons News, a local elementary school introduces a new program, and the city gets into the holiday spirit. Stay tuned.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
After over a year of kids being stuck in front of a screen, Live Oak Lego Robotics is trying to change that among their students. Ryan Rivera brings us more.
What if the punching truck knocks down that bridge?
Kids have been stuck inside for the past year and a half. Live Oak Lego Robotics is giving them something to look forward to every week.
Well, my oldest son, Jackson, who's my co-coach, he was involved in robotics on a broader scale, and I knew that this would be something that kids would really be interested in, and I think it's a way for kids to get back to working with their hands and get off screens.
The club makes sure to create an inclusive environment for all team members, no matter what their ideas entail.
The great thing about Lego Robotics and robotics in general, and especially with FIRST, is that it's all about inclusivity. Everybody's welcome, everybody's ideas are welcome, everybody shares, everybody cooperates. And with our team, we've really made a point of focusing on it's not one person's idea, it's not one person's mode of thinking, and we all take from each other and we learn.
One team member shares his early interest in building and collecting Legos, and why it is so important to him.
Yeah, because I've been building Legos ever since I was a little kid, because my dad, that was also his hobby, collecting and building Legos. So it's kind of like a passed down thing from my dad, I guess you could say. And I was just really happy to be a part of this. Yeah.
He also shares about the good memories it brings back for him.
I didn't always build stuff with my dad, but when I did, I enjoyed it a lot. And yes, it did remind me of one of the times I did it with him.
For anyone interested in partaking or starting a club of their own, here's some more information on how to get building.
Find somebody in this field. Find somebody with FIRST Robotics. Find somebody with FIRST Lego League. Ask around. There's got to be somebody that you can talk to. Get it done. Find the grants. Find the sponsorships. There's always a way to get it done, but just take that first step and do it.
For Canyons News, I'm Ryan Rivera.
After a 2-year delay and 24 packed shows, the curtain has come down on Mamma Mia at the Canyon Theater Guild. Following the COVID pause, the company and audiences were both ready to say, "Here I go again." Jeremy Thompson caught up with the cast and crew.
Thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing.
A closing matinee performance of Mamma Mia at the Canyon Theater Guild meant one last pre-show talk with their director.
I'm so proud of you. Are you proud of yourselves? These guys had been doing nothing for the last, year and a half. And when you're an actor or a dancer or performer, this is what gives you life.
Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
Beautiful. We became a family, and we just all wanted to be together rehearsing and playing. So we were grateful to have the space to do it here.
The winner takes it all, the loser standing small.
Beautiful. This is such a great experience for us, being one of the first shows since COVID pandemic hit, to welcome our community back in and to entertain them and give something back to them.
Originally slated for summer 2020, the company had to put their show on hold. But when they reclaimed the stage, it was to sold-out crowds and an extended run.
We had a lot of people losing their minds over the show. We had people coming in going, this is my 4th time, this is my 5th time, I'm coming back with my family members. So that's cool because they did, I think, almost 30 performances of this show, and they were ready.
It was a triumphant homecoming for a theater that gives local performers a home.
A lot of the actors that are in this show are actually from this area, and it gives us a place to come and fulfill that need to be artistic.
Lee hopes that in finding their characters, they also find themselves.
What did you realize about yourself, good or bad? Did you realize that this is what you want to do with your life? Anybody can come in here. Anybody who wants to be a part of the theater can. That for me is the reason why I do community theater.
Get out there, be part of your community, support each other in the arts and in the endeavors that we're doing, and just live. I hope everyone can start to live their lives again.
For Canyons News, I'm Jeremy Thompson.
Canyon Theater Guild's next production, the Christmas classic Miracle on 34th Street, opens this Friday. While shortages for products keep increasing, so do the prices. For more on how this could affect people's plans for the holidays, here's Mark O'Brien.
The lasting effects of the pandemic go much more beyond mask and vaccine mandates, but is actively interfering with the accessibility of supplies and products. And one area that may be suffering from this the most are grocery stores. The pandemic's impact on the supply chain continues to make certain products like turkeys hard to find, and when they are found, the pricing may not be to the liking of many.
I see exactly the comparison between all the other markets, and it just pushes me away and makes me go spend my money elsewhere.
Grocery stores in the Santa Clarita Valley, like Valley Marketplace, aren't the only places being affected by turkey shortages or increased prices, as it can be seen all around the country.
Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, only 6% of companies have reported full visibility on their supply chain, meaning most companies are unable to see the status of their incoming products from the time it's sent by the manufacturers to the time it's purchased by the customers. These uncertainties faced by markets are being reflected by the consumers' shopping behaviors.
I eat out over grocery shopping because I'm not so good in the kitchen, and I prefer my stuff made warm and kind of ready to go. I'm not too hardcore in the grocery store where I could tell if there's a shortage of whatever it may be. Like I said, I like my stuff hot, so you'll see me at the deli getting a sandwich.
These challenges that shoppers are facing could result in a change of plans this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, buy everything except for the turkey. Yeah, I like the idea of having all the side dishes, and we don't necessarily need to have a turkey, you know. The side dishes have always been my favorite, so why not?
Whether it's a turkeyless dinner or not, have a happy Thanksgiving. For Canyons News, I'm Mark O'Brien.
The holidays are almost here, and with rising food prices throughout the nation, Thanksgiving dinner this year may prove to be costly for some families, while out of reach for others. Reporter Claudia Conchola got to find out how the Department of Child and Family Services and Love Santa Clarita Valley teamed up to help struggling families in the community.
Preparations for a Thanksgiving dinner can be costly. However, for many in the community, simply surviving each day can be a struggle. Serving over 1,300 foster youth and families throughout the Santa Clarita and San Fernando Valley, the Department of Children and Family Services of Santa Clarita is determined to make sure local families in need have food on the table this coming holiday. Teaming up with the nonprofit organization Love Santa Clarita Valley, the first annual Thanksgiving drive-thru giveaway provided 300 families with full Thanksgiving dinners and a $25 grocery cart to purchase a turkey last Tuesday.
We've never hosted this before, and I've been here for 12 years. We've never had the opportunity or just the manpower to do it.
Despite food shortages and rising food prices, volunteers from the community did not hesitate to prepare hundreds of food packages for the event's participants.
So it really has been a community-wide event, getting commitments on providing all of these meals, and there's lots of details involved in that, but a lot of heart too.
For mother and daughter Melissa Martinez and Desireen Perez, volunteering provided feelings of gratitude.
After the pandemic, we just realized that we're really blessed for everything that we still have, and there's a lot of people that don't have that.
While the Thanksgiving drive-thru giveaway was a one-day event, the Department of Children and Family Services of Santa Clarita and Love Santa Clarita Valley will work together again to bring the 16th annual holiday drive-thru celebration on December 18th.
If we at least can reach one family, or as these families come driving through, then I think we've done a good job.
From Canyons News, I'm Claudia Canchola.
The spirit of Thanksgiving is alive and well in Santa Clarita. Families were treated to a heartwarming gathering inside the Newhall Community Center.
Inside the Newhall Community Center, hundreds of families were treated to a night of activities and crafts to kick off Thanksgiving week. The City of Santa Clarita's Harvest event featured cornhole games and opportunities to make centerpieces for the dinner table. All of it was made possible by a $10,000 donation from Parkway Motors in Valencia.
When people come to this event, or the kids come to the event, along with the families, it means a lot to them, and it means a lot to me as a center supervisor to see these kids smiling. I know it has been a difficult year, continues to be a difficult year because of the pandemic.
Santa Clarita's annual Christmas tree lighting returned in person this year. I was able to go out and learn about what it meant for the community to get back together again.
Good evening, Santa Clarita!
After being held virtually last year, Santa Clarita's annual Light Up Main Street event returned in person last Saturday. The event was held in front of the Old Town Newhall Library. Music performances, shopping, and taking pictures with Santa Claus were all included in the event. However, the night meant more than just an annual Christmas tree lighting. This was a chance for the community to get back together.
You hear the vibe out here, you feel the vibe out here. The street is filled with people. People want to get out and enjoy and socialize and be part of this great celebration. And so, big difference.
With the community getting together, many businesses in the area are also being impacted in a positive way.
Lots of people discovering the store that have never been here before, have never heard of this store in particular, a couple of my neighbors, and don't even know what's going on in downtown Newhall and all the changes and all the shops, restaurants, and all the new stuff that came to town.
With the pandemic limiting in-person gatherings, there is optimism and excitement around the community about being able to go out again.
Yeah, the response from the community is, as much as possible and as safely as possible. That's important. Let's get out and let's enjoy life. Let's enjoy the holidays. Let's do business.
Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Caden West. Now, let's take it to Matthew Frieda, who has the latest on sports happening around Santa Clarita.
Thanks, Caden. Well, there were plenty of teams in action this week, including women's volleyball, who after winning Saturday against Mount San Jacinto in the SoCal Regional Play-In game, upset second-ranked Pasadena City College yesterday and will advance to the next round of the playoffs. But on Saturday, the College of the Canyons men's basketball team hosted Chaffey College in a non-conference matchup. Canyons entering play with a 4-1 record, looking to keep the train rolling. The Cougars off to a strong start from the three-point line, their first 3 buckets from beyond the arc, this one from Dylan Barrientos, giving them an early 9-2 lead. Later in the first half, COC goes on a 9-0 run capped by the pretty turnaround jumper from Corwin Smith. Cougars lead 23-10. But Chaffey wouldn't go down easy. The Panthers take the ball away. One of the Cougars' 9 first-half turnovers, and Chaffey turns it into offense on the other side of the court on a 3-ball from Ulysses Faustin. COC forced to take a timeout. Last 5 seconds of the half, Chaffee leading 36-34. The Cougars work the ball around to the open man, and it's Quincy Arms, bang, at the buzzer. Three-pointer to send COC into the locker room with a 1-point lead. Now in the second half, Drew Henderson fights into the paint for the tough bucket to give Canyons the lead. Later in the half, Cougars down 2. It's Henderson again, this time from the corner for 3. Finds the bottom of the net. Henderson, a season-high 23 points on the night. 4 minutes left. Game tied at 62. Barrientos drives to the hole. Can't get the layup to fall, but Alex Reyes is there for the putback and the foul. He would complete the three-point play, and the Cougars wouldn't relinquish the lead again. They go on to defeat Chaffee College 75-71 for their 5th victory of the season.
The biggest key to getting this dub tonight was basically just locking down on defense, contributing to our offense and help side. They got a lot of paint touches today, which we lacked on. We lacked on a lot of rebounds today, but we still pulled through.
I think the fact that we had a couple of key execution on the offensive side, clean toward the end, and we made some free throws and got that done.
College of the Canyons improves to 5-1 on the season. Their next game will be November 30th against Long Beach. From the court to the track, where for College of the Canyons' Danielle Salcido, the accolades keep coming. But her greatness was almost never realized. Salcido left running behind after she quit the Saugus High School cross-country team her senior year.
I think it was, when COVID started, I kind of lost my love for running. I kind of started, just going on walks, and then eventually it became into going on to small runs. And then I was like, I really miss it.
But now the freshman cross-country star is breaking records and making news throughout the state. Salcido entered the state championship undefeated and pulled away in the final 800 meters to capture the women's title with a personal best time of 17 minutes and 54 seconds. While she's unsure if she will return for her sophomore year, Salcido has already cemented her legacy in the history books of Canyons athletics. And there's one team remaining in the playoffs from the Foothill League, and the Valencia football team has a chance to do something they haven't accomplished in 4 years. Valencia hosted Chino Hills Friday night with a chance to move on to the Division V championship game this week. It was a defensive battle to begin the game. In the first quarter, Vikings quarterback Trey Erickson has his pass intercepted by Huskies defensive back Tyrese Boss. In the second quarter, the Vikings get themselves on the board on this long touchdown run by Daniel Hernandez to give the Vikings the lead. On to the second half. Vikings still lead by 7, but Huskies quarterback Bobby Johnson says not so fast as he rushes in for the touchdown to tie the game. After another Vikings turnover, the Huskies with the short field, running back Jamar Jackson takes this one to the house to make it 14-7. But Valencia strikes back as Vikings quarterback First Erickson hits wide out to Ron Goodman on the long bomb to tie the game at 14. On the ensuing possession, Johnson drops back, throws, but it's picked off. It's Jake Stauffer with the pick six, putting Valencia up 21-14. Next possession, Chino Hills looking to respond. A long drive capped off by a short touchdown pass from Johnson to wideout William Davis, tying the game at 21. Final minutes of the game, after driving down the field, the Vikings line up for a field goal, and it is good. Valencia takes the 24-21 lead, and they go on to win by that score. They will play Oaks Christian Friday night in a rematch of the Division II championship game from 2017. And with only one loss this season, UCLA hockey was ranked 8th in the West, heading into back-to-back matchups against crosstown rival USC. They skated out with 2 huge wins. Jeremy Thompson went behind the glass for their clash at the Cube.
Coming off a 10-3 win at USC's barn, the Bruins rolled into their home ice where fans were as fired up as you'd expect for a meeting with the Trojans.
It's incredible, especially for a club hockey program to have this kind of support coming out and seeing us. I know most of the people who came, it feels really good. It definitely helps team spirit and team morale.
From the opening face-off, the Bruins were aggressive on the puck and controlled the pace of the game. Captain Duke Fishman got the blue and gold off to a fast start, beating USC goalie George Gutierrez glove side just 33 seconds in. UCLA would add 2 more tallies in the first period and another in the second, bringing the score to 4-0 near the halfway mark. But USC, who played a pesky physical game all night, was not going away easily, even if they were frequently going to the penalty box with 26 penalty minutes in the game. Chris Chow cleaned up a rebound from Alejandra Escamilla's breakaway coming out of the sin bin with about 6 minutes left in the second. The Trojans were on the board, but it would prove the high point of their night as they would manage only 2 more shots on goal in the last 25 minutes of play. The Trojans' netminder Gutierrez kept the score closer than it could have been, battling in a game that would see USC get outshot 52-8. UCLA didn't let up on its dominant effort, and the dam broke at the end of the third as they put the biscuit in the basket 5 times in the last 5 minutes of the game. Forward Owen Sweeney put up a hat trick, and the Bruins swept the home-and-home series against SC with a pair of 10-goal efforts.
It feels pretty freaking good, you know. Especially being here past 4 years, not always had success against USC. So to come out here in front of a packed house and blow them out like that, gonna sleep well tonight. I love you, Billy Seagulls!
For Canyons News, I'm Jeremy Thompson.
And that's the latest on sports. Let's pass the rock back over to you, Caden.
Thanks, Matt. A local painting shop that's main goal is to bring happiness is offering many classes daily. Reporter Greg Haro has more.
Painting with a Twist is a local business here in Santa Clarita at the Valencia Westfield Mall that for the past 4 years has been owned by Joe and Bobette Visconti. Their reasoning for purchasing Painting with a Twist was to continue to bring happiness to Santa Clarita.
Found out that the previous owners were going out of business, and she looked at me and she said, that place makes people happy. And she wanted to make people happy. She couldn't take it away from people. So she said, we need to look at investing in purchasing the business of Painting with a Twist.
So, for the ground...
Painting with a Twist has multiple classes throughout the day, ranging from noon to late evening.
And each class will be a different painting, so every time you go, it'll always be something different. And the classes are led by artists such as Mary Peterson, who's always found herself drawn to painting ever since she was a kid.
Since I was young, in elementary school, I did after-school programs for painting, and it's always just been something that I've been drawn to, I guess, if I want to use.
The paintings are selected by the owners who look through a database of paintings and set up a schedule.
Yeah, so for the paintings, we I don't think any of us have actually created them. We're given the paintings, for example, the one today. It is just put up on the schedule by the store owner, and it's kind of fun to see, like, ooh, what am I going to paint today? And this is the painting that we painted today, the tree with the moon. It's very good.
For Canyons News, I'm Greg Harrell.
Santa Clarita is home to about 400,000 people, and with many additional new homes in development, that number is rising. A bigger population also means more diversity. Sydney Sweet has more.
Here at Bridgeport Elementary, a group dedicated to promoting acceptance among the LGBTQ community has put together an event to give back to SCV in its own very colorful way. The food pantry is in desperate need of donations during the holiday season, and the SCV LGBTQ Center decided to get involved.
Community organizations should be working together. We're not all just doing our own thing. Like, we can, everything intersects, and we all got to work together to boost each other up.
Finley Walker is the president of the center, an organization that he and his mother started when he was 19. The spirit of togetherness is incredibly important to the queer community, which is one reason he started the LGBTQ Center, and another is to promote acceptance. Finley has big aspirations, hoping to one day have a physical location for the center, and looks forward to putting on many more events beyond just giving back.
I want to do like a dance, like a queer prom kind of thing, hopefully for Valentine's Day, just because, when there are local proms and stuff, a lot of queer people are excluded from that, whether it's they're actually excluded or they just don't feel like it's safe.
Finley created the LGBTQ Center in the hopes that queer people can find a place to be themselves, even in a majority cisgender and heterosexual environment such as Santa Clarita.
Having a center, just the existence of it, whether we do anything or not, which we do stuff, but whether we do anything or not, just our existence shows that, you know, we are allowed to be here. Everyone else who is queer and here is also allowed to be here, and it's okay to come out when you're ready.
In an ever-growing city, the LGBTQ Center hopes to continue spreading joy and color to the Santa Clarita Valley. And if you would like to get involved, you can follow SCV LGBTQ Center on Facebook and Instagram, as well as their website, scvlgbtqcenter.com. Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Sydney Sweet.
Barks and meows instead of vroom vroom? A local dealership has brought something more than just friendship. They have brought something along the lines of partnership and companionship. The Valencia Acura dealership just hosted their first annual pet adoption with a partnership with the LA County Animal Care Foundation. There was one goal in mind. It was to find all these pets a place and a home to live in. Dogs, cats, bunnies, and guinea pigs came from all around to this location in the middle of town. People went to the Acura dealership to adopt an animal instead of making a car purchase. Coming out of the pandemic was one of the toughest times for anyone to deal with, so what can make it any better than having a new furry friend? So when you come by one of these adoptions, make sure to come by and bring home a loving animal. That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Caden West. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com and on our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Stay tuned for some behind the scenes of our fall semester. Happy Thanksgiving and have a good night, everybody.